It can be so painful to watch a child constantly in a state of fight, flight, or freeze, especially knowing that in their early life, terrible things happened to them, that they were abused in some way. Maybe they lived with domestic violence, or they experienced another form of emotional abuse, lots of criticism, lots of cruel things being said to them. Or maybe they were neglected all round, their physical and their emotional needs. Maybe they were sexually abused. And now here you are as their parent, their carer, or the professional in their lives. And you're starting to feel completely overwhelmed yourselves by the level of aggression, destruction, lack of cooperation, just losing it constantly about seemingly nothing, or the way that they shut down and they don't seem to respond to anything you're saying or doing, or they don't hear what you're saying. To be with that and live with that is beyond exhausting emotionally and physically. So a very important element of moving forward with the child is who's there for you. So you, in order to be in a state of endless compassion so that you can connect with them from a place of calmness and loving interest and curiosity, it's really important that you find some system where you can tap into people who aren't trying to tell you what to do. Now, I often see posts on Facebook where people post things that their traumatized children have done. And then, of course, everyone has an opinion. And these are not people who know about trauma. So usually the person asking knows far, far, far more than the people giving the advice. And it breaks my heart, to be honest, because you are the experts of these children. And if you're a professional coming into their lives, then you have an opportunity to learn these children. And we always need to do that from a place of open heart, endless compassion, and educating ourselves as to, what can I do to bring this child back to some sense that they are emotionally and physically safe? And that isn't with words. So, I've worked with many, many families post-domestic violence, and it can seem so frustrating for the adult to know, well, but we are safe now. The perpetrator has gone. We're in a new building. I've shown them all the locks. I show them every night all the locks on the doors. But what I'm talking about is learning inside to feel safe. And that takes a long, long time for a child. And they need repeat experiences of adults who can show them whatever they're doing, whether they're hitting or hurting you or somebody else, or they're trashing things, or they never seem to listen, or they have massive, seemingly angry outbursts at the tiniest thing, even when you've done everything in your power. Now, these are exhausting things to be around, which is where I come back to. You need to identify sources of support for yourself, because children will only ever need this. They don't need rewards, consequences, or even praise. They need us to step into that space with them and make it safe emotionally and physically. So if we focus on down-regulating ourselves, not just in the moment, but throughout the day, connecting with our own safety, which you can definitely access through really being aware of the weight and grounding yourself through your feet, just little things like this, then we present as a much more safe, secure energy around children. And when the things happen, when they do get into a terrible state, and what you're seeing is fear. It's always fear, fear, fear. People call it anger and they call it this, that, and the other. That's like the shop front. Yes, it is angry behavior, and they are feeling a sense of rage within them. But down in the stock room of the shop is fear. So they don't need us to try and control that presenting anger. They need us to, okay, it's all right, we'll be okay. Let's just take a breath and help them back to some sense of safety. And it is a repetitive need. This isn't just going to go away, because we're having to rewire their brain, retrain the response in their whole nervous system and their body systems. So I hope that's helpful, and that the takeaway message is support for yourselves. If you'd like to know more about my work and access all the blogs I've written on similar topics, then please visit my website, allthews.thejaneevans.com. And check me out on Facebook if you want ongoing updates on anything to do with parenting, at Parenting Children Beyond Anxiety, or on Twitter at Jane Parenting with a number 2 on the end.